Fed up of floor robes, driven to distraction and drowning with doom boxes? Tired of living in chaos? Welcome to Decluttering Untangled, how to declutter when you're overwhelmed, ADHD or autistic. I'm going to help you uncover the secrets to decluttering, no matter what hurdles you face. You'll discover how to declutter, de-stress and transform your world. I'm Heather Tingle, reformed hoarder, neurodivergent declutter queen, and your guide through the maze of mess. Let's get untangled. Hello Untanglers, and welcome to another episode of Decluttering Untangled with me, your host, Heather Tingle. Now, today's podcast, I'm sure, is going to raise some chuckles because I am almost 100% certain that this is going to be something that you have got an issue with. Because today I'm going to talk about notebooks. In almost every single client home, I find a plethora of notebooks. Some still in their wrapping, but generally most have got a few pages of writing in them and that's it. So when they've gone all in, they've done a few notes, they've started a new notebook and then it's either got lost or their motivation and energy for that particular project has stopped. And we repeat the cycle again and again and again. So if this is something that feels familiar for you, this episode is for you. And I'm going to talk about what lures us in, how to declutter them, and also how to actually use them or alternatives that can work for our busy brains. Okay, so to start, let's talk about why we get so sucked in on buying notebooks. I will say you are not alone in this if this is you, because let's face it, first of all, if you're anything like me, stationery is a product that just pulls us towards it. Notebooks are everywhere. They're relatively affordable and they've got pretty patterns. So they've got so much potential, like a new project. Oh, I've got to have a new notebook. And this time we're serious. It's going to be the thing where we're going to have it all sorted. We're going all in. We're going to get all our stuff together and it's going to finally work. So future us is going to be so organised. We're going to be so organised, just like the last 3 times we did this, hey? So, and I really do think the dopamine hit of buying new stationery is so alluring, we totally forget that we've done it before, and we will have the same outcome as last time as well, unfortunately. So the first thing I want you to do is to get them all together. Like, where on earth are they? They're probably under your bed, in cupboards, in drawers. They're going to be all over the place, usually handbags, old laptop bags. You name it, they're going to be all over the place. So get them all together. And I would genuinely love to know how many you find. Will you please let me know? Because I'm really intrigued. So most clients, I'd say, it's been between 7 and 10 notebooks. Those from the tiny little ones, the work ones, the ones that are just like, run like normal scraps of paper, through to the ones that are beautiful with pretty covers with the inspiring words on the front. And the ones that have got like a folder over them, maybe one's included in a set. And then decide which is to be your favourite. Look through all of them, look through them all, pull out the old notes and give them a glance and then let them go. Because I really do think that perfectionism has got a role to play here too. Having a fresh start notebook and then stressing when we've got to cross something out, or like if you've done a bullet journal and like one of the things didn't go right, you feel like you've ruined it, or the whole needing a new one or a new page for a new thought, rather than realizing all a notebook is a ton of scraps of paper put together. And I would really like you to try and look at using it imperfectly, like it is, or all it is scrap paper. And yes, it might be packaged up differently, but I would really like you to try and use it imperfectly as best you can. So don't worry if it is scribbled on. Don't worry if you've missed a few pages and you've gone to the middle. Like, don't worry about it. It's okay. Now, whilst I'm on the subject of the old ones, I want you to rethink the notes in your notebook. What are you actually using it for? Do you really think you are going to go back and revisit those notes, or are you just scared to let them go? Because this happens quite frequently. Oh, I might need these notes. I might need them to revisit them. I might need the information contained in these notes. But let's have a bit of a reality check here, because I've got news for you. Unless you are using it as a daily log or a to-do list, in which case this does not apply. But those notes are never going to be looked at again. Just like those screenshots in your phone. They were great at the time. It pinged off an idea in your brain, but it is highly unlikely you're ever going to go back to them. And if you do, you need to be able to find them, which is highly unlikely because you won't know which notebook to look in. And that information, really, I want you to start thinking about it as the notebook being a one-time and done thing. Because what you're doing when you're writing in this notebook is you're writing it to help it sink into your brain. You're helping to learn it, keep it in your head, rather than it being the information as a reference that you're going to revisit. The information is actually in your brain rather than the notebook, because that's what I think notebooks are very good for. Is they're great to help you sink the information into your head. So like when you were at school, for example, the reason why teachers get you to write things down is because it's more likely to go into your brain. So it isn't necessarily about revisiting it. It's about getting it into your brain in the first place. So I would also like to think about what to do with them when they're full. And be really realistic and think, am I actually going to look back at this? Is this information going to be any use? Because a lot of time it isn't. It's usually notes from something that you're never going to revisit. If you did, you could probably find it on the internet and it'll be more update these days. So many of my clients shred them or burn them because it can be so cathartic. And a lot of the time you don't want others reading the inner workings of your brain. It might not make sense to anybody else, or it might be your innermost thoughts and feelings or to-dos that you don't really want anyone else to look at. And you're unlikely to ever look at the notes again. So they might be out of date or just not needed anymore. I think once you've got all your notebooks together, you'll realise how many you've got, and then work out how or if you're actually going to use them. Are you needing them for work? Are you needing them for your studies? Or are you using them to like brain dump information out there, which can be really useful? Are you using them to make lists? Is this going to be an active thing that keeps getting used, or is it going to be a reference only just to help the information sink into your brain type thing? And then use one at a time. Let the old notes go and consider other ways of making notes. So for me, notebooks rarely get used these days. I now use my diary. My diary is my active, in use thing that helps me keep track of stuff. Things I need to do, go and get actually diaried in, or occasionally I will use them as like to-do lists. But more often than not, I will diary something in rather than a to-do list because I never get down the to-do list and it just gets more and more stressful. I also use post-it notes for things. And that's the things that I want to do that I can't diary in. So I get an idea for something I want to do in the future. If I write that into my diary, it's never going to get looked at. It's never going to get actioned. If I write it on a to-do list or in a notebook, yeah, I might go and get a load of notes and they might go in a folder, but that folder never gets looked at after the initial thought. However, I realised that if I put something on a post-it note, that an idea, they go on my notice board. That way I see them all the time. And then when I want to action something, I just take the post-it note off the notice board and then I go for it. If you're any good with tech, it might be worth looking at how you use technology instead. Do you use the equivalent of a notice board on your phone? Maybe use something like that. Or it might be that something like a Remarkable notepad, which is like a digital equipment, a digital equivalent, not equipment, that I know many clients successfully switch to. Obviously, I'm not technologically minded, as you know, but a lot of my clients do like things like the Remarkable, and I'll put a link in the show notes if that's something that you want to explore. But for now, I really want you to think about whether a notebook is something you actively need to use. And if it is, start using the stash you've got rather than buying a new one each time. Okay? So I hope that's giving you something to think about. So until next time, be kind to yourself. Remember, you are not alone, and keep untangling. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Decluttering Untangled. If you found anything that I've said today helpful, please do me a favour, hit that subscribe button or leave me a review. It's like receiving a virtual high five that keeps me going and lets me know that I'm helping real people out there and I'm making a difference. Please remember, you're not alone in this. I'm building a community of fellow untanglers over on Facebook. Just visit the show notes for the link to my free decluttering community. So until next time, remember, you're not alone, you're not lazy, you can untangle your life.